Hello everyone, hope you are doing very well. This is going to be another documentation video of things that I've learned during my programming career. In the past videos, I have been recording things that I've learned through my self-programming, but now that I have a job, I can start documenting things I've learned doing work. And so one of these things is debugging things in production environments where I don't necessarily have access to an open open text editor such as VS Code, PyCharm, things like that. Things I necessarily won't have access to immediate code files such as this one that you're seeing right now. For instance, during work, there is a production environment that is only accessible through reserved instances through AWS, and I can't just open up a code editor like this and start coding right away. I need to access it through like a terminal of some sorts. So I'm basically going to showcase you on how I go about it and start debugging things that I want. So just for reference, this top area portion is just a visual representation of the code stuff that I'll be doing in this bottom section, because realistically, whenever I'm in a reserved instance, I'll only have access to terminal lines. But here's the trick. I can technically access a code editor using Vim, which is a Linux-based text editor. And I can do that as simply as doing VI, or I guess if you want to go with the more advanced, Vim, and then open up the file, whichever you want. This code base should be pretty simple. I kept it very, very simple to just kind of demonstrate how I can go about things. So I just have a function here that takes one argument or required argument, and then this another argument that has a default. So all the function basically does is it has an X, it does a for loop and adds one value to the X per loop. And then it just prints out the argument here. So it doesn't really do much. And if I were to call this file or call this function, it would basically just say hello world. So if I do that, I'm just going to try real quick. Python, not manage.py, that's Django. Python example.py. Then it just prints out hello world because that is what my argument is. And of course, it's going to do the for loop. You just can't see it. So let's go ahead and simulate a code modification or debugging here. So to access this code in the reserve server, I'm going to do VI. I'm not gonna use Vim because I just kind of want to keep it rudimentary. So VI for Vim example.py. And now I have access to the code base here. I can start modifying the code by pressing the A or I key to get into this code editor and start writing stuff. So in here, what I'll do is I'll change the argument to just say hello Python. And what else I'm going to do is I'm going to do a import IPDB ;IPDB.setTrace. And this import and set trace thing that I'm doing here is like, I pretty much use it every single day because I want to see what's going on in this function or wherever I may be, because in a real life situation, your code base is going to be much, much more complicated than this. And this IPDB set trace helps you break down line by line what exactly is going on in the code base. So I'm going to save it by pressing escape, WQ, W for write, Q for quit. And now you can see over here that I actually made the changes. So if I were to do Python example.py again, I trigger this set trace. And what this allows us to do is if I press N for next, I can go down each line and it basically executes the code and see whatever it's doing. If an error at any point occurs within the code, it'll throw that here and you can kind of see where it's breaking. I don't have any code that breaks right now. And I'm going to press Q for quit and rerun this one more time. So let's just go down the line and see and just follow this arrow. So right now, what IPDB is saying is basically we are instantiating X with the value of 0. If we go down next and we press X, then now we have access to that value. It also has access to any value previous or prior to whatever the current line is. So it will already have ran and taken in this argument 1. So if I want to print out or see what argument 1 is, then I can see that. If I want to see argument 2, then it shows that as well. And anything else prior to whatever it has run so far. So that means it hasn't run any of this line 4 to 6 just yet, but it's going to. So let's follow that. So if I do n again, I'm basically saying for I in range 2, go ahead and add 1. So right now it's adding 1. If I do next, it's going to do it one more time because we have the range of 2. So right now it has already added that 1. So before the X was 0, if I press X again, it is 1. And then I'm going to just run it one more time. And right now it's adding once more. So if I press X again, it's going to be 2 because now this for loop is done. Now we're going to go continue. And now it's going to print arg1. And it has done that. Return nothing because there is nothing to return. There's no return statement. So it's pretty much done at this point. So you can keep going next if you want, and that's fine. But if you want to quit, again, just press Q or C to continue. And that's pretty much it. There's much more stuff you can do with this. Even in your, let's say, in your IPDB, you can even import things like import date time, and then do datetime dot, what is it? Datetime dot now? Datetime dot now. You can do that. And there's like a ton of things you can do to debug it. You can even change your code. So let's say if it's X, well, okay, hold up, do this, and then I have access to X, so I can modify it in memory, X equals 10, and then go through the loop, and then it'll add like that. And in your actual code editor, the X will stay 0. So this is basically just like an instance. That's just one of the simple things out of many, many, many things you can do with IPDB and the text editor here. So I invite you to try it out if you ever want. You're probably not going to have much use of it whenever you're coding in a development environment, but this is really useful for things like production environment and testing environments, things like that. I'm just going to exit out of this IPDB, and then I just want to remove the IPDB back because, well, I don't need the IPDB anymore. So I'm just going to erase it and then do, I don't know, this is a comment, something like that. And now it has changed. I'm going to link the IPDB and the VIM cheat sheet in the link so you can check it out and see many, many things you can do with those. For a VIM, you can, again, this is just like 9 lines of code, but when there's like thousands in a file, there's a way to help you navigate through it. And let's say, for example, I'm going to do vim example.py. And if you want to go to a specific line that you know of and you don't want to go down and press the arrow key for minutes or hours at a time, you can just do colon, and I want to go to, I don't know, line 4. I just type :4 and it'll take me there. So that's something really useful. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Invite you to try it out, check it out, and good luck in your programming, I guess, and good luck in your debugging. So hope this is kind of like a little fun short video of something that you can learn that I learned. And if you liked it, then I'm glad you did. So I got really nothing else to say. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.